our former colleague, joining us on the phone right now. Tangs, congratulations from Johnny and I and everybody here at NHL Network. It was such a pleasure to work with you and your hockey knowledge over the last couple of years. Yeah. How did this whole decision kind of come about? Did you know that once you retired and you kind of dipped your toe into the broadcasting realm that you kind of wanted to try coaching as well?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, thanks, guys. I'm humbled and blessed to have on August 13th two of the best, in the business talking to me. So right there is a big honor in itself. But, honestly, after I retired, guys, like Johnny said, I wanted to get back and I wanted to get involved right away with the business of hockey because, as your father time goes and your ability and your physical skill diminish, that drive and that love for the game doesn't really disappear. So I still enjoy the game very much, and I wanted to spend a little bit of time with the family and doing TV and learning how to communicate was an easy way and a really good way. And I'm really thankful for the opportunity that I've had at the NHL Network to allow me to do that. But, that fire was still inside of me. Over the course of the last year, I was watching games and, thinking to myself, like, how could I do this and how could I help this? And the coaching, world is probably the closest as far as, in the business of hockey as the player. You're around the guy, you're on the ice, you're on the bench, you're in the video room and stuff like that. So when I was approached by, Tim Army a few months ago, and Tim is somebody that I trusted, somebody that I had as a coach for 3 years in Colorado. Super guy, super positive, very well prepared, knows the game extremely well, works extremely hard at it. Then at that point, I started thinking that perhaps it was more real.
Tank, you've been around the room, and we watch guys during practice and watch guys during meetings, and you can always peg, that guy's going to be a coach. Mike Sullivan was on my team in Arizona. That guy was going to be a coach. Were you one of those guys while you were playing, or did this desire to maybe get behind the bench grow after retirement?
I think that, maybe not early into my career because, early in your career, you're trying to establish yourself in that generation where we grew up, you and I, Johnny, in the late 90s, early 2000s. The coach were not as much of a communicator, but they would, give you orders that pretty much you had to follow early on. The game has changed and the game is different. So perhaps early in my career, I would say probably not. But, towards the end of the career, I realized how much I enjoyed the X's and O's and stuff like that. And talking to the guys and being one of the veterans, one of the leaders on the team, having the communication and the analyze the X's and O's with your teammates. Sometimes, with your experience, you get answers, you get to things quicker. And at that time, I said, well, maybe there could be a possibility, but, certainly it wasn't in the cards. I knew that I would be around hockey. I just didn't know where it's going to be. And the coaching thing is something that I wanted to try over the course of the last year. I'm going to see how it works out. I'm looking forward to it. The challenges of today's player now, their skill level, and the development is really something that I'm looking forward to do. And I think in the AHL, it's a developmental league. It's going to be good for me because I need to know and I need to figure out who I am as a coach. And I think that with the people that I have around me, that will give me time to find myself and figure myself out as a coach. But I'm dying to get working with the young players and trying to find ways to help them be better, to help the team be better, to help them grow as hockey players, as persons. That's, the psychology part of it, I'm really looking forward to.
Who do you think you are as a coach right now? We know you're going to evolve as the season goes along and kind of find out more about your strengths and maybe some weaknesses out there. But who do you think Alex Tanguay, the coach, is right now?
Well, I think that the one thing that I want to do is and every coach talks about it, but, really have a line of communication. The players today they have so much knowledge that we didn't have when, we were younger growing up. They work out with the same, trainers that the NHL players do. They work out. They're on the ice with them. They have the same skills in coach development. They have the same nutritionist. So their level of expertise and their level of preparation, heading into the pro level is so much greater than it was 10, 15 years back. So now once they get there, you have to give them tools, mentally to allow them to put all those skills that they've developed and put them together for them to be the best players on the ice. And I think that, there's mental things that, Johnny, you and I, with the experience that we've had, as a player, you had good times, you had bad times, you had times where difficult, you were at a time where, you play on the first line, everything is going good. So kind of figuring myself out in that level, and then allowing them to, to develop and build a system, because in today's game, and talking with Tim, who's somebody that I respect very much, how do you build a system around the players that you have? Because I truly believe that in today's game now, you don't adjust. Players shouldn't adjust to the coach should adjust to the players. They have so much skill, they have so much talent, that I do believe that the adjustment needs to be from the coach, and that's a challenge that, myself, I'm trying to, to figure out and see how I can help and develop some of the younger players that are there. But certainly, I'm there to learn. Tim is somebody that, when I started looking, there was opportunities to be a head coach at a lower level, perhaps in junior in Canada and stuff like that. And that opportunity, I wasn't sure if I was, if it would be the best way for me to learn. But having somebody like Tim, who's been around coaching for the last 25, 30 years at the NHL and college level, at the AHL level, I think that for me personally, this was a good opportunity to go and see how I can do this job.
All right, Tang, you had a great career, long career, very successful, immensely talented. You won the cup, all that stuff. When was the last time you rode the buses around the minor leagues? I want to know if you are aware of how much work and the lifestyle change you're about to have here, and what that's going to be like for you, because it's been a long time since you've seen anything minor league.
Yeah, Mike, you're absolutely right. I mean, I had, and this is my experience, at the end of, after my draft year, I kind of made the team out of training camp. I didn't know if I was going to be there, so the Avalanche made me an offer. Didn't agree to the offer, went back to juniors for the year, and after my junior season, I went to play 5 games for the Hershey Bears, before, and 5 playoff games with the Hershey Bears. Well, I flew from Halifax to Lexington, Kentucky, drove the bus all night, got to Hershey at 7 o'clock in the morning, played that night, and then at game number 3 on a Sunday, so 3 games in a row on a Sunday at 12 o'clock in Philadelphia. I called my dad right then and there, and I said, Dad, I need to make the NHL next year. I don't think I can go through this. So, I mean, it's going to be different. Certainly looking at the schedule, seeing that, they're playing the 2 games against the same team back-to-back. Obviously, being in the Western Conference in the AHL, we're going to have lots of trips to the West Coast. So it's going to be a different lifestyle, but, hockey's hockey. And I wanted to, as I said, get an opportunity to get my feet straight and learn from who I believe is a very good, could be a very good mentor to me, and Tim Army. Tom Kerbers, who's the GM of the Iowa Wild, was part of the organization in Tampa when I was there. It's somebody that I'm familiar with, somebody that I really have a high esteem for. So this is why I picked this team. It's not about the bus. I know the bus will be different, but it is what it is, and I just, I'm just anxious to get going and get my hands working with some of the Wild prospects in Traverse City.
Well, we're going to miss you around here, and it's going to be different this upcoming season because, 1, you won't be sitting in that chair, and 2, the employee lounge will have a different feeling to it because nobody on the other side of the ping pong table. I want to know when you put the ping pong table into the Iowa Wild Players Lounge coming up, as we watch some video here of me just torching you on the other side of the table, Tangs.
Well, Jameson, now that I left, you might have a chance at actually owning the belt at the NHL Network. So I give you I wish you the best of luck regarding that. But no, I think that, there's a level of enjoyment, about me playing sports. I feel like I'm a kid again playing ping pong with you, Jameson, playing golf, playing, whatever sport it is. Mike, unfortunately, we hadn't had a chance to play tennis in New Jersey yet. But, I think that, the more time you can have the players, be together, whether they play, different sport, whether they, they're looking at something. I mean, the more camaraderie you can have as a team, I think certainly helps, you know, the level of comfort that you have with the other players, the level of trust that you have in them. And so if we can install a ping pong table, I was told by the coaching staff that there's a road trip in the West Coast that there's a ping pong table at the hotel, and it's quite popular. So I might have to bring my own paddle, Jameson, just like you have in your office, and see if I can, you know, if I can put the rust out of my paddle and play against these guys.
All right, brush up those skills, buddy. Polish up that trophy. Send it back to here at the NHL Network in Secaucus. But in all honesty, we're going to miss you this upcoming season. Wish you the best of luck in your new career, and hopefully we'll chat with you down the road. If there's ever an AHL arena cam, you better believe it's a two-way street. We're going to need you on the other end of that.